Good evening, this is Edward with sonsofgod.com. It's Saturday, September 25th. I'd like to talk briefly about resurrection life. It's a topic that is coming more and more to the forefront of our thoughts. I find that with the many things that we have on our plate as God's sons, that we can be sidelined on so many issues that we're contending for, and rightfully so. But I feel that the issue of resurrection life is something that is right here at the door, beckoning our entrance. I feel very much like the believers back at the time of Azusa Street, or even the disciples that were waiting on the Lord at the time of Pentecost. They knew that the Father had spoken of something that was coming, but they didn't know what that experience was. They weren't exactly sure what was involved. The Holy Spirit was it was a new thing to the disciples, and at the time of the turn of the century, here in the 1900s, the baptism of the Holy Spirit was really a new experience for the believers. And I know that many that were reaching in for that experience back in 1900 at Azusa Street didn't initially enter into the change because they were dealing with so many concepts, and God just, those that were just open, entered into it, and it took at times a little bit longer before some of the others to finally enter into that experience. But I find that we're poised at this time in the earth, a time of fulfillment. God is bringing forth many things, and I find that resurrection life is becoming part of our intercession and prayer life on a daily basis. And it hasn't always been that way. To be contending before God for this glorification and this transformation. But I am sensing that we really have come to the time of change. And it's interesting, Terry sent me an email, I thought it was kind of humorous, showing these grave clothes on and skin and whatnot. I was sitting on the floor, and of course it was depicting, the whole new body, resurrection life. You're up and out, and you shed the old grave clothes, and it's interesting. But it got me thinking a little bit more too. And I know that the Lord has talked or spoken to Ann and I about resurrection life on numerous times. We always didn't understand exactly what it was he was saying, but I understand now more than ever that we are looking at an experience that will involve the change of our vibrational state of living. I remember something that a man of God told me many years ago, whose name is John, who is very much a part of our ministry now, even though he's on the other side of the veil. But bear in mind that the veil is not valid. It's not valid to them, and if it's not valid to us, then it really doesn't have the import that it has had in the past. But John said something to us once, 30 years ago. The resurrection life, the experience of resurrection life, was going to be having access between both levels, but not being vulnerable in the physical. And right now, as we live, we are still vulnerable. We're vulnerable on a physical level, financial level, soul, spiritual level. But the transformation of resurrection life is going to see a life where we step out of those vulnerabilities. And more, I've seen that this really involves a whole shift of our vibration, and it's something I'm still giving a great deal of thought to before the Lord. because we don't know what this experience is that we're contending for. Some people say, well, it's a DNA change. I've even made reference to that, I think, a few times. And it probably is all of that. But I think that the shift in our energy or our vibration or our frequency will bring the changes within us on a different level as well, molecularly. It's hard to say, is it, the chicken for the egg? It's probably simultaneous between both of them. But I know that God is drawing us up into a level of spirit and a level of abiding, and I've seen that for some time. And I know that it involves a change of our vibration. It's far more than a change of consciousness, but it is literally a whole new level of existence. And I've seen it, partaken of it just a little bit, but I know that it is part and parcel with resurrection life and what we're facing at this time. So this is just a short meditation, just a few things that we've been thinking about, and we wanted to share them because resurrection life is here and it's at the door, and I just feel more and more it will be at the forefront of our thoughts as we come before the Lord, reaching in and expecting that what He has begun, He is completing. And we will experience this shift, a vibrational shift, energetic shift, call it as it may, but something entirely new. So it's about all I have to say. It's just, like I said, this is just a short meditation. This isn't any great revelation, but it's our heart as far as where we see ourselves poised at this time as a people. Thank you.